All right, some other stories in the news. The second thing that comes out on my feed is that Sanford, the former governor of South Carolina and a former congressman of South Carolina, it has announced that he is challenging Trump for president in the Republican primaries. I don't think anybody has a chance against Trump in the Republican primaries, but of all the people out there, I actually like Sanford. When he was governor of South Carolina, I I thought he would make a good president. He's a free market guy. He's a reasonable guy. He seems like he's a relatively secular guy. He's not a religious fanatic. He's pro free trade. I think Sanford would make a decent president. Now, he had this episode, I don't know if you guys remember, but he had this episode while he was governor that ultimately forced him not to run for president, where he fell in love with this woman, I think she was from Argentina, but from South America. And while he was married, and he was having an affair with her, but he really fell in love with her. It wasn't just but then she turned him down as well. So he landed up getting a divorce and not having the relationship with this new woman, and it destroyed his credibility. So he never ran for president. But if he had run, I would have supported him, because I think he's one of the better Republicans out there. I certainly would support him today. I certainly would support him over Trump. And I wish him luck. I actually met him at a conference in April. He's an Ayn Rand fan. We had a long chat. We got to bump into each other a number of times and talk. He knows who I am. He definitely knows who Rand is and his influence. And again, I think of all the people out there running for president, I would be most supportive of Sanford. Now, who knows? We'll see if I discover anything negative about him. But so far, so good. And so far, he is the guy that I would support. So I'm really hoping that by the time we get to one of the things the Republican Party is doing, I don't know if you've heard about this, is in some states they're canceling primaries. They're canceling primaries. So that Trump will win, so that nobody will challenge Trump. I really hope that is reversed. I really hope we get to a point where where we actually have primaries, and I really hope there's a robust debate. We've got now 3 challenges to Trump. We've got Sanford, we've got the former governor of Massachusetts, and we've got Joe Walsh, the radio talk show host. Of all of those, I would definitely support Sanford. The amazing thing about that is I personally know 2 of the candidates running against Trump within the Republican primary. I know Sanford and I know Walsh. I know Walsh probably best of all of them. But of all of them, I would primarily be a supporter of Sanford. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm excited about the fact that there's going to be a primary, and there should be primaries, and there's going to be a challenge to Trump, and that some Republicans have the courage to actually stand up to him and say, you're not qualified to be president. You've proven that over the last 3.5 years, or 3 years, sorry.
What is Randism?
First of all, I do not call it Randism, and I don't like that name. I call it Objectivism.
All right.
Meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute. That man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it. And that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On faith?
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason. A morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
How does objectivism differ from the philosophies that many of us have been exposed to in our youths, philosophies based upon religions, theologians, dogmatists?
The very first difference, objectivism tells you that it is not right, it is not proper to man to take anything on faith. Religion is a matter of faith. You accept a religion emotionally or because you were born to it. You have not chosen it rationally. What objectivism will tell you is that reason, man's reason, is his basic means of survival. That is the most important faculty which he has, and he has to guide his life and make his choices by means of his rational faculty. He has to make his own choices, but he has to know how to make them. It is immoral for him to act on his emotions, to be guided by the whim of the moment. That objectivism holds as very wrong, very immoral. And morality, in fact, consists of following your reason to the best of your ability. So that rationality is the basic virtue from which all the others proceed.
My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on earth and to live as a human being, he has to hold reason as an absolute, by which I mean that he has to hold reason as his only guide to action, and that he must live by the independent judgment of his own mind, that his highest moral purpose is the achievement of his own happiness, and that he must not force other people, nor accept their right to force him, that each man must live as an end in himself and follow his own rational self-interest.
Tell me this.